Hello, everybody. My name is Stephen Mead with Domicile Real Estate for people who love houses. This is another installment of window shopping where we take a look at an architectural home on the market, something that I'm personally interested in, and I think you're interested in as well. I know we didn't do one last week. So, one of the things that I love about this business, and especially about architectural homes, is when we find kind of a present, something unexpected in the world, right? Like a house that nobody would have expected to be where it was. And that's kind of the story with the house this week. It's largely untouched. I think it's absolutely amazing architecture. And it's just in a place and at a price range you wouldn't normally expect. It's located in Anaheim, in the middle of Anaheim, in fact. It's not an attractive architectural homes or anything like that. It's just a one-off. And like I said, I think that's one of the most delightful things to come across when you're looking at houses. When you're expecting a sea of 1950s Cinderella homes and you come across something special and different. So I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer on this. Let's jump in and take a look at it. So this is 735 North Westwood Place in Anaheim, California. This isn't our listing, but of course, if you love architectural homes, you want to work with a realtor who understands architectural homes. This home does happen to be listed by Jennifer Toyama with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, but of course, you deserve your own representation, and we would love to help you with that. So I want to take a look at this house. It's priced at $1.1 million. It's 2,900 square feet, right? So this is a big house. If you look down here in the specs, it is also on almost half an acre of land. This is a large lot. I don't think we're really seeing anything like this. There just aren't a lot of houses that are on lots this size that are priced at $1.1 million anywhere in Orange County or Southern California, really, for that matter. So let's take a look. There's kind of a lot of plant material that looks like it might be a little bit overgrown here. This home is at the end of a cul-de-sac, so it has a lot of space around it. You've got this kind of long driveway, but immediately here, when you turn in the angle, you see that this roof line kind of jets out, and the house is almost angled the way it is from the street. I mean, really, just a very clever design. So I'm going to go back here. You can't see this, right, when you pull up head on. So I mean, already I'm intrigued and excited, right? We've got this walkway, and now all of a sudden it's leading you under this cantilevered roof with these huge beams leading you in there, right? And I see some Japanese influence in the landscaping. I would highly recommend that whoever buys this home kind of continue that. I think the design really lends itself to that. And look at this entryway. I mean, what a grand way to walk up to a house. I think we just don't pay that much attention. And to see the wood ceilings like this, and then what you do, and this is kind of a cool architectural trick, right, that you'll see in a lot of architectural homes, is you will start off with kind of this big open space, right, like this, and then it will slowly constrict down to a more personal space. So when you're standing here waiting for someone to open the front door, there's kind of this sense of small personal space. Now, if you look through here, you'll see you've got glass up above and to the sides of these wood doors, and that is not an accident. The idea is that when you're inside the house, you have limited delineation between the inside and the outside. It's a very common design theme in 1950s and 1960s homes. I think it's executed beautifully here. Again, picture this entryway. This is what you see when you walk in the door. And some of these design elements, might appear a little bit dated to you, but this is one of those homes, and I can't emphasize this enough. You want to live in a house like this for at least 6 months before you make any major changes. This really is something special, something we don't normally see. This is kind of a living room space, built-in cabinetry, wood walls. And you know what's great about these is these aren't dark and they aren't light. They're that beautiful medium tone. And, I think that works with a lot of things. So even if you don't want to necessarily keep the carpet, which I'm not in love with, you can kind of see how this design just feels like something special, custom and bespoke. This space in here, you'll notice you actually have a little bit of a view of the front of the house. and the back side of that wall, which creates privacy. So you can have these huge windows and yet not sacrifice the privacy. Really, this is what good design is about, is that somebody sweated these details. This is the kind of thing that's really a labor of love that you see. These bathrooms, yes, this cultured stone. I don't even think this is original to the house. This one was built in 1964. I think this might have been a different material. This was replaced sometime in the 70s or 80s. The tile work looks mostly original. If you look here closely, you can see it's white tiles there. This probably had dual handles originally when it was built. Dual handles are no longer allowed by code, as you may, there's a scalding hazard. Also, I want you to take a look at this toilet here down below. This is kind of a unique design to the toilet. These were not off-the-shelf plumbing fixtures when this house was built. Somebody spec'd items that probably had to be special ordered. Again, that front entryway that you see here, I love the textures that you see in this, right? It's not just wood, but wood with different grooving patterns. You have this soffit here. Really some cool stuff going on. There's a large kitchen space. It's wide. I don't think you realize how unusual this would have been in the 1960s. Normally these galley kitchens would have been small, little cramped affairs, not this one. Kind of got a cool eating area here, breakfast nook. And then you have a view out here, which I don't know if you can see this too well online, but you have these shutters which can be closed. So that way, if you have mess or you have caterers or someone working in the kitchen, you can shut these off. So it limits the view from the dining room. If you look up here too, you'll see that these walls don't go all the way to the ceiling. And that's kind of a cool design element that we started to see in the 50s and 60s, was this idea that you want to control how close and separate spaces feel. It wasn't just about having closed off rooms or open concept spaces. It was really thinking about that middle ground of what's the right amount of access you should have. This is that dining room looking out to a huge living room, and look at what you look into in this yard. This space, I mean, the ceilings, really, I cannot imagine buying any more architecture than this in Southern California for under $2 million. I mean, and this is 1.1. We've got some virtual staging here to kind of show you what it could be like. But I think what's great is when you look at this, you see just how seamlessly this house goes from inside to out. Very limited frames on these windows. I would argue that even this house bests the Eichlers in terms of having that access. Now that you go to the private space house, this is the hallway leading to the bedrooms. And you'll notice these are much closer. The ceilings are lower. The windows are a little bit smaller. Controlling that sense of space is really important. Large laundry room in a house like this. I mean, this was clearly built to a different standard than other homes of 1964. You've got a sunken garden tub, very popular in the 1960s, that looks out here onto the yard space. Again, I mean, just take a look at what you're looking at out these windows. You're on almost half an acre of land here. And you might be thinking to yourself, $1.1 million is a lot of money for a house in Anaheim, and maybe it is, but to get this kind of land, this kind of potential, I mean, this really is sort of the money shot of this house. You can sort of really see this design aesthetic that they were going for. Long linear forms. I'm just very enamored with this house. Out back, you have kind of this covered carport area and motor court. This is the back side of the property. You could conceivably enclose this if you wanted to kind of create more of a garage-like space. I personally kind of like how this is. It's so far separated from the street. Again, really, this is just an amazing piece of architecture. Now, when you see the house from up above, you can kind of really get a sense of that design. This was forward thinking. This wasn't somebody who was afraid. And look, I want you to look at a little detail here that they did. See how the roof jets out again in this kind of pointed arrangement, and you'll see the concrete for the motor cart mirrors the angles of the roof line. Really, this is genius level design. This is just something amazing. I'm not going to go through the costs or tell you what I do to it. Well, actually, I am. Like I said, I think this is a house, you want to live in this house for 6 months before you do a single thing to it. You want to actually take some time to understand what it is about the things about the house that you might want to change and not just kind of go in with your gut instinct. For me, I think possibly changing out some of the flooring. I'd like to have a unified flooring throughout that'll really connect those spaces. I think carpet was considered a luxury at the time, so that's maybe why they went that direction in a couple of the rooms. I think buyers today and lifestyles today would rather have a similar hard surface flooring throughout, maybe tweaking the bathrooms, but these are gut job bathrooms. These are bathrooms where you really want to preserve and save some of the items. There's just so much potential with a property like this. There's a term, it gets overused a lot by realtors, and the term is legacy property, right? Like this is the kind of house you would want to pass down to your children because you know it's something that's one of a kind that can never be replicated again. Anyhow, if you would like to see the house on Westwood Place in Anaheim, definitely let us know. It's one of our personal favorite houses that's really come up in a while. I think it's at a very reasonable price. I expect it will go higher than this. And secondly, if you're looking for an architectural home in general, definitely let us know. We'd love to work with you to see how we can help fulfill your dreams of architectural home ownership. Or conversely, if you have an architectural home to sell, we can absolutely help you with that too if you're in Los Angeles or Orange counties. If you're anywhere in Southern California, we can also make a referral to agents who think like us. Anyhow, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.